What is up, everybody? This is Killer K-Rail. And you know what? It's been like 900 months since I've done a Facebook Live, and I felt compelled this morning on this Motivation Monday to do a Facebook Live. I have a lot on my mind, a lot I want to get off my chest, and a lot of things I want to talk about. One of which is I want to recap my current 5-day fast, which ended on Saturday. So, before I get to that, guess what time it is? It's time to do a movement break. We are never exempt from movement break. It's never too early, it's never too late. In fact, you should do a movement break at least every hour throughout the whole course of the day. If you can't do it every hour, every 2 hours will suffice. Now, what is that I see over my shoulder? Right there, do you see it? Looks like a stability ball. Let's go grab that stability ball and do a movement break with that, shall we? I'm gonna adjust my camera and I'm gonna walk back into my home gym here and make sure I'm in frame. Why don't we do some knee pull-ins? Okay, so we're gonna do an ab exercise. Now, easy way to do this is you roll across the ball like, I'm gonna start back here so I don't go through that frame. You roll across the ball like this, and then you come into a position where the tops of your shins are on the ball. Or you can just go like this. Now, modified would be this. Your shins are on the ball, and you're gonna roll the ball in, push the ball out. Just like this. Keep your abs nice and tight, keep your back straight, keep your eyes looking forward. You don't wanna round your shoulders too much. Slow and controlled. If you do about a set of 10 of these, you're really going to feel it in your abs and you're going to feel happy. If you want to put more sauce on it, you can go on your toes, like this. And then pull the ball in. Just like that. Bingo, bingo. Okay? And then you can just hold a plank on the ball like this as well, if you want. So you got a couple options to work with right there. So there's our movement break. Stability ball, knee pull-ins, working our abs. Okay, now, let me get back over here. Now that we've got the movement break out of the way, that'll be your first movement break of the day. I highly encourage you, like I said, to get more movement today because your body was made to move. Let's get a sip of water. Okay, let's talk about my fast. But before I get to my fast, I have to rewind all the way back to March of this past year when I had this condition set in my body, which I believe it's called... It's known by many names now. I call it a horrible condition. And the initials are CBD in my book. COVID, yes. I actually had COVID back in March. And when I had it, it was basically like a 3-day hangover for me. These are my symptoms. I had headache, I had chills, I was really run down, and I had muscle soreness. It kind of felt like just a massive cold. And as soon as I felt those symptoms starting to creep into my body, this is what I did. I laid on the ground and I fasted. And guess what? I got tested the next day. While still fasting, I was positive. 2 days later, 65 hours after fasting, I started feeling better. I started eating. So basically I said this, okay, I actually have COVID. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna start fasting. I'm gonna see what happens. After 65 hours worth, I said as soon as I start feeling better, that's when I'm gonna break the fast, I'm gonna start eating. I started feeling better, and I broke the fast. And then I had basically 3 days of hangover-like symptoms. So I felt tired, I felt a headache, and I felt really run down. After those 3 days, my health started going like this and this and this and this and this. And then it was like nothing ever happened. And after I came out of COVID, I felt amazing. And it all started with a 65-hour fast. Now, fast forward to last weekend. I started getting a sore throat. Sore throat went to my nose. I started having a runny nose, and then I started having a cough. So basically, I had an actual cold. Yes, believe it or not, colds still exist. They do, because I got victimized by one. And as soon as I started getting sick, you know what I did? I started fasting. But this time, I decided I wanted to break my all-time record. So my old record of fasting was 4 days. This one, I went 5 days. I finished on Saturday. I'm on day 2 post-fast right now. Do the math here, okay? So I did a 5-day water fast. As I was fasting, I felt the symptoms of the cold got really bad in the very beginning. And then on day 2 and day 3 of the fast, they started getting better and better. By the end of the fast, it felt like I was never sick. So here's what I'm trying to get at to you. As soon as you start feeling a cold coming on, as soon as you start feeling anything coming on, you should start fasting. Just drink water and just trust the system. And if you have to become immobile and just sit in a couch, that's totally fine. You don't have to go out and work out like I do. But I'm telling you right now, fasting is a game changer. I keep getting my phone blown up with messages and stuff like that. And I cannot be a bigger advocate for it than I am right now, especially after going through what I just did. So I had COVID, I started fasting, and I felt like that flipped the switches and it expedited my healing process and made me better faster. I just had a head cold, did fasting again, and I feel like it expedited my time that I had the cold and it made it way less severe, and I'm feeling like $1 million right now. So, know that first of all, as I go into the components of my fast. Okay, talked about that. I have a couple of notes written down, so please forgive me. All right, now, sometimes people ask me this question. Actually, I got a lot of questions. I posted a picture the other day of the length of fast I did and like what I ate and all that kind of stuff. I'll get to that in a second, but people ask me all the time, do you work out when you're fasting? Yes, absolutely 100% yes. When I do a 2-day fast, not a thing changes. It's beefcake workout on day 1, it's beefcake workout on day 2. Day 2, I struggle a little bit more with my lung capacity. I'm carb depleted, so I have a little less energy and I have a little less aerobic capacity. But nothing really changes. I don't change the workouts. I don't scale back. I still do the amount of time I do. Everything is pretty much exactly the same. Now, because I did a 5-day fast, things changed on day 3, on day 4, on day 5. The longer I go into a fast, I start to taper my workouts. So I did less reps, less sets. I did less intensity and I did less volume. So I didn't do as long of workouts. But my rule is this: I have to do a minimum of 30 minutes no matter what. I was able to do hour-long workouts on days 3, 4, and 5 last week when I was fasting. I just scaled way back on my weights and everything because I'm telling you, I was huffing and puffing in between. I felt a little lightheaded at times. That's just my fault because I was being stupid because I was pushing the gamut just a little bit too much. But I still worked out. And after all that was done, after it was all said and done, after 5 days of strict water fasting for me, I lost 17 pounds. I started at 179.6. I finished at 162.4, which is a grand total of 17 points, whatever that is, 2 pounds or something like that. Now, that's coming from a guy who people look at 179 pounds and tell me all the time, you're too lean, you gotta bulk up and you gotta gain weight and you gotta do this. You know what? I don't gotta do a damn thing. I gotta do what works best for me, and you gotta do what works best for you. And you gotta stop listening to other people run your life and ruin your life. You do what works best for you, and everything will be absolutely totally fine. As long as you're being safe, as long as you know your body, as long as you know your limitations, you're gonna be totally fine. And that's exactly what I know. I was 179 pounds, but I had some residual fat on my sides. I totally did. Yeah, I still had definition of my abs and everything, but I know my body really well. I know it better than anybody else. No one else lives in my body. I don't live in your body. So how can I tell you exactly what you need to do if you're doing fasting or if you're doing anything else? I can't. Only you can know that. So the bottom line is this. I lost 17 pounds of pure fat. I know for a fact it was pure fat because I looked in the mirror when I was 179. I memorized a couple areas. I took a picture. And then at the end, I looked in the mirror again. And you know what ended up happening? All that little residual fat I had around my sides and my waist was completely gone. Like I'm telling you, I was ripped to shreds. More so than I was earlier in the summer when people told me I was ripped to shreds already. And you know what? I'm happy about that. That's a big accomplishment for me. So, bottom line is when you work out in a fasted state, even after 12 hours, your HGH levels start to rise. When you're working out on day 2, on day 3, on day 4 in a fasted state, guess what happens? Your human growth hormone is through the roof. Your fat burning potential is through the roof. You're burning fat around the clock. And even if you did a minimal 30-minute moderate workout, body weight, full body type workout, you're going to get a huge feedback loop from that. And your body's going to react and respond greatly. And you are going to look and feel shredded, my friend. I'm telling you right now, especially if you have low body fat percentage to start with, which I had. So that is why I had that residual effect. So now, I don't know what I weigh now. I'll get into that a little bit later. But I'll tell you this. Some people ask me this question. What do you break your fast with, or what did you break your fast with? So here's the rules with breaking a fast. The longer your fast goes, the less food you want to have to break it with, or the less food you want to take in that's going to cause a bad reaction. So you don't want to go to a Chinese buffet, okay? Obviously. You don't want to have anything that's like really hard and solid, like huge amount of food and dense, because that's going to cause massive gastrointestinal problems. The thing is, you want to have something that's easily digestible. I like to lay the foundation with prebiotic and probiotic foods. So the first thing I had was a cucumber with sea salt. And I'm telling you right now, when you break a 5-day fast with a good organic cucumber that's crispy with sea salt on top, it feels like euphoria. The sweet of the cucumber tastes really sweet and the salty tastes really salty because the taste buds inside your mouth have completely recycled themselves during your fast. So everything you eat is going to taste amazing. It's going to smell good, it's going to look good, and it's really going to satisfy you. So I had a cucumber, then Then I had some asparagus dipped in hummus. And the reason I have that is because hummus has garlic in it, which is a prebiotic, which I'll get to in a second. And then I made this concoction of quinoa, garbanzo beans, pistachios, butternut squash soup, and I had some mushrooms and steamed peppers and steamed broccoli, and I put it all into a bowl and I blended it together. And that's what I used to break the fast. And it was amazing. It tasted delicious through the roof. And I had a small portion of that, and it really hit the spot. So although all those nutrients right there are very digestible, you want to have steamed vegetables if you're going to eat vegetables. People like to break a fast with bone broth. You can have soup or you can have bone broth. That's totally fine. Basically, you want something that's very absorbable. And I like to, like I was saying, I want prebiotic and probiotic in there. And I had some sips of kombucha as well. So what I'm doing is I'm laying a really good foundation of prebiotic and probiotics in my gut to boost my gut health. Now, 24 hours after a fast, your gut health already starts to improve because your gut starts to boost its stem cells inside your stomach. When that happens, you're able to digest food better. So after you come off a fast, you're going to be able to digest food better. If you had any gastrointestinal problems, you can help fix things through the medium of fasting. So I'm a big fan and advocate of that. Talked about my weight loss, and I want to mention this. I'm 2 days removed from a 5-day fast. Now, my normal routine is I do 16 plus hours a day minimum, and then once a month I do a longer fast, which usually is 48 hours, and I've been doing these longer ones recently because I haven't done a long fast in a while, and I want to break my previous record, which is 4 days. So now I've done 5 days, and where was I going with this? I lost my thought. I have to refer back to my notebook. Oh, I'm 2 days removed from my fast. Okay, so whenever I break a longer fast, regardless if it's 2 days or 3 or 4 or 5, it's always the second day after that I feel superhuman. I went to the gym this morning and worked out, did an hour and 45-minute workout, and I felt superhuman. I felt like Superman. I was as strong as can be. My recoveries between my workout, my exercises were off the charts. I feel solid as a rock. I feel ripped. My eyes are wide open. I feel very vibrant. I feel energized. My eyes are focusing really well. My brain function is on point, and I feel absolutely amazing today. And it's always 2 days after the fast, and it is gone. The first day after I break a fast is kind of like a recovery day. So think of it that way. So if you do like a marathon or an ultra marathon, even better, that's what the 5-day fast would be equivalent to, maybe more. The next day after that, you're not going to be like doing another ultra marathon. You're going to kind of take a day to recovery, maybe a few days actually. Well, fasting is kind of the same way. If you're doing a longer fast, it's going to take you a day to recover and sometimes more. But usually on day 2 after a fast, I feel absolutely amazing and I feel like Superman. And today is that day. And it happens to be Motivation Monday. So I felt like coming on here, doing a Facebook Live and letting you know exactly how I'm feeling and what I'm doing. So there it is. There's my Facebook Live for the day. I'm going to get going because I have a million things to do today, including fitting in another movement break up on the hill because I'm going to Rob's Trail to do a hike. If you have any questions or comments about fasting or want to do some coaching with me, hit me up. My name is Killer K Rail. In the meantime, honor your body, honor your neighbor, pick up at least one piece of trash a day, get at least 8 hugs a day for 8 seconds. Always think in the present moment and always do at least one thing beyond your comfort zone every single day. Till next time, I'm reporting live from my living room. Killer K Rail.